Hi, this is Mike Marsh, and welcome to the June 20th Inner Circle sales meeting. This, unfortunately, is take two. Why take two? Well, because I screwed up the first take. We had an echo on the line, and I decided the best thing to do would be to start over again. So we're going to see if we can absolutely duplicate the program with a little more clarity this time. And I want to share a story that happened to me this past week. I was sitting on my porch, and a UPS guy drives up with a little manila box or a little box with what looked like a book. And my wife says, "Mike, what book did you buy now? You're already reading three of them." And I said, well, "I don't think I read any book. I don't think I bought any book, not to my recollection." So I opened it up, and there was a book called The Art of the Sale, Learning from the Masters About the Business of Life. And a note was from a good friend of mine down in Washington, D.C., who heard an interview on a PBS radio show of a fella called Philip Delves Broughton. And he thought that I would enjoy this book and get some ideas from it. So he sent me this as a gift with a little handheld note sent through Amazon. And it was really cool. And I'm going to read the book on the airplane going to Arizona this week. But it was another example of two things. Number one, this is my fourth book that I'm reading now on the subject of sales. And I ask you, what books are you reading on sales or marketing or customer service or employee motivation? How are you developing your knowledge in your career? And number two, when was the last time you sent somebody a book or an article or something that triggered your imagination to think of them, and you took the time and made the effort to actually send them something? My friend did it, and I really applauded him for that, and I thanked him for that. It was a very nice gesture. You can do this regularly. And under the idea of Incubator, I want to share with you an experience I've had this week. I'm planting some grass in my front yard, and I prepared the dirt, raked off all of the rocks, and I threw thousands and thousands of these little grass seeds, thinking that I was going to get thousands and thousands of little blades of grass. I watered it, I mulched it, I watered it, mulched it, and all of a sudden a little green blade sticks up. I planted thousands of them, but it only looks like hundreds are turning into grass. And the lesson that I'm getting is that you have to throw thousands of ideas out, thousands of seeds for a few of them to germinate, to hit. And then what I'll do is after some germinate, I'll throw some more seeds out there. But we have to continually throw seeds out and water them and nurture them and mulch them before some of them take effect. Same thing in business. Not one idea, not two ideas. A lot of ideas need to be thrown and nurtured and watered and sowed, and then sooner or later we're going to have a lawn. Now, this happened just this week, and I was thinking of you, and I'll probably remind you this through the course of today's program. We have to continually throw seeds out into our marketplace, take care of them, watch them, weed them, and then some of them are going to take effect. No question about it. Now, here's a homework assignment right out of the blocks. Chapter 1, I want you to go to the Inner Circle Members Only website. And I want you to go down to the Inner Circle menu and find Become the Exception. I have it there in text and in audio. And I want you to review Chapter 1. I want you to listen to or read Chapter 1. And myth number 1, selling is a numbers game. And it's no longer just do the numbers and some of them will hit, although the seed thing is kind of a numbers game, isn't it? Now that I think about it, maybe I'm contradicting myself, but no, I would rather have it as a game of darts. Think of sales as a game of darts. And I want you to list 10 or 5 or 6 or 3 prospects, people who you want to do business with. And then I want you to think of 3 ways to improve your awareness with them. If they don't know you're alive, you can't possibly do business with them. So list a couple of people that you want to do business with, and then think about ways how you can generate interest in their life so they will talk to you and they want to meet you, and you can start developing the relationship. Until you write down those names, until you decide how you're going to contact them, the days will turn into weeks, will turn into months, and nothing was going to happen. So I put this out as a homework assignment today. Go find Chapter 1, read it, and then, here's one for you. Read the next 37 chapters or listen to the next 37 chapters. Why? Because they're all good and they're all meaningful and they'll all help you, as will all the other articles and models up there on the Inner Circle website. I don't think enough of you are going up there taking advantage of the opportunity that these things will stimulate your thinking, make you feel better, get out into the marketplace. You'll wear your personality and things are going to happen. But if you don't go there, then nothing's going to happen. Warning, secret revealed. Get a load of this. This was an ad from a magazine a long time ago, Business Week. I love this ad. I made a copy of it. Marketing, make it simple. What we do is we complicate things. Once we get something down, we try something else, and then we try something else, and then it's a Facebook, and then it's a Twitter, and then it's a LinkedIn, and then it's a Biznick, and then it's something else. It's direct mail. We keep trying what's new. And I'm telling you, keep it simple. People today don't need complications. They want to work with somebody they can trust, they can rely on, and will make it happen. This is a beautiful ad. Marketing, make it simple. Sales, make it simple. Customer service, make it simple. Dealing with people, dealing with employees, keep things simple. What we want to do is get people to raise their hand. We want to say something, do something, offer something, so they will say, hey, that sounds interesting. Tell me more. Send me that. I want to see that. I want to go to that. We as sales and marketing specialists, we have to come up with ideas that will generate interest in our marketplace. Or rather than generate interest, find out what they're already interested in and then offer them some more information on that particular subject. There's a very clever saying, let's enter the conversation that people are already having in their own mind. We're thinking all day long as people. Well, let's enter the conversation that's already in their mind. Let's kind of just dovetail in rather than try to change the conversation to meet our conversation. Let's get them to raise their hand, and then we will enter their world. But what we don't want to do, the number one danger, is being boring, being just one of the pack, being another travel agent, another travel supplier, another travel manager, another travel consultant. We want to bring our personality, our creativity, our stimulation, our enthusiasm to the party. The last thing in the world we want to be known as is boring. They might not buy our stuff, but it's not because we're boring. We're happening people, and members of the inner circle, you're happening people. For years, for 1,000 years, 1,000,000,000 years, 2,000,000,000 years, I don't know. 2 plus 2 is always equal 4. It never was anything else. 2 plus 2 always equaled the number 4, and 2 plus 2 will never equal the number 5. I don't care how tired you get, 2 plus 2 will equal 4. Well, the same thing happens in business. The fundamentals are the fundamentals. The basics are the basics, and the basics will always work, and the fundamentals will always work. So you're always looking for something new, something different, something done. Work with the basics first. Find out what makes people appreciate. They like to feel welcome. They like to feel smart. They like to feel listened to. They like to feel important. Did I say that? They like to feel warmth. That's what people like. So if that's what they like, give it to them. Stick with the basics. They like their phone calls answered. They like to be considered big shots in their own world. If that's what they want, let's give it to them. Stick with the basics. What do people want? What do you want? And then give it to the other people. You want to be heard. You want to be listened to. You want to be called back. You want to feel welcome. That's all we want. Don't act like a big shot because it'll come back and burn you every time. 2 plus 2 will never equal 5. Stick with the basics. And what we're doing in the inner circle is we're building a blueprint, building a business, one customer at a time, based on the basics, based on fundamentals, and we're growing our business. I love this slide. We're building a blueprint for success, and then we're working the blueprint. First we build the blueprint, then we work the blueprint. And before we go much further, I want to just share a couple of things that happened on our open mic phone call last week. We tried something new, where a two-way dialogue. We had a great bunch of people on the line, and Bob S., I won't give last names right now, but Bob, because he might not want me to, he had a press release. He said, I'm going to send a press release out. It's a slow weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I'll send a press release out. Maybe they'll print it. Well, they did not. They did not. But what they did do is they printed it the next week verbatim. They put it in with his words verbatim. And a couple of days later, the phone rang. A woman who saw the press release said, "You're my kind of person." And lo and behold, there was an $18,000, closer to $20,000 cruise on Oceania that was booked, signed, sealed, and delivered based on that press release. So tell me you don't want to write a press release. Tell me you don't know how to write a press release. Tell me you have something better to do. But don't ever tell me a press release doesn't work, because they do work. Don't tell me seeds don't grow, because seeds do grow. All the seeds don't grow, but seeds grow. Press releases work. Good job, Bob. Excellent. That was such a neat story. Then Larry on the open mic called, and Larry wrote an article. He finally got around and scribed an article. And he sent it to me, and I put in about 3 edits. It's a beautiful information piece on Hawaii. But he did it. And you all can do it, but you're not doing it, and I don't understand. But Bob S. and Larry J., good stuff. And then we on the open mic, these were great. We're going to do more of these because they're more fun. In the open mic, somebody said, get a load of this. 5,000 postcards a week this company sends. A part of the inner circle. Yep. Successful company. 5,000 a week. That's incredible. But it works. You're not going to throw money down the drain if it doesn't work, but this works. Visibility. Every week, this company is remaining visible via a postcard. So we asked where you bought the postcards, and he gave us clubflyers.com. www.clubflyers.com. So I went on to clubflyers.com, and lo and behold, here it is, postcards, 4x6, good size, 5,000. There they are, 5,000. 4x6s, 14-point extra thick cardstock, good cardstock, ultra high gloss, full color, 2 sides. 5,000 of them. Look at this. Under $100. That's incredible. Don't tell me you can't afford postcards. That's incredible. But we learned about this on the call, which was great. But I want to just say this, that I wouldn't have full color on 2 sides. I just have 1 side and black on the other. Just, my message on the other. But the eye catcher should be a nice picture, full color. And be careful, because if you're going to print on your own postcards, you don't want glossy on the back. I just want glossy on 1 side. That's the front, the picture side. The back I want kind of matte, so it'll take ink. Don't make that mistake. It's a major league point. But you also don't have to buy 5,000. But if you buy 1,000 or 500, my message is the same. Don't date them. Don't make them obsolete as soon as they're printed. Make them what's called evergreen, where you can use them month after month, year after year. So whatever it is you print, make it so it will last a long time. And with the Stephen Covey suggestion of with the end in mind, start with the end in mind, is 7 Habits of Successful People. Start with the end in mind. Before you go out and buy a postcard or develop or produce a postcard, what are you going to do with it? Who are you going to send it to? How often are you going to send it? Start with the end in mind. So once these things are delivered, you know exactly what you're going to do with it. You've budgeted the postage. Everything falls into your plan. Don't just go out and print postcards and then say, now what? Because what's going to happen is the same thing that's happened to everybody who's made this mistake, is you're going to be looking at 4,000 postcards for the next 20 years in your basement. And you're going to, because they cost you some money, you're not going to throw them out. But look at that, less than $95. That's incredible. I'm sure there's some shipping also involved in there, though, so you're going to add a few more bucks. And you can also look at here, 5x7, 8.5 by, you can change the size if you want. So there it is, clubflyers.com. And we were also informed on the call that you have to have your own graphics. Well, some of us aren't graphic people, so I want you to go to www.5rr.com, 5rr.com. This is a site for $5. You can get just about anything done. Now, I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm not going to sell it to you. Just go to 5RR, browse around a little bit. For $5, try something, see how it works, and you can get a beautiful postcard design made personally for you for $5. That's how that works. I ordered a free special report over the internet this week, and it had about 35 telephone tips to use when contacting customers, and I wanted to just cite the first 5 in today's sales meeting. Number 1, never ask if it's a good time to talk. So now the guy who wrote this is a successful sales guru, expert, specialist. Okay, this guy has credentials. And his first tip, never ask if it's a good time to talk. Well, I want you to know I don't buy it. Okay, I don't agree with it. Right out of the box, number 1, I don't get it. Why would I want to talk to somebody who doesn't want to talk to me? If I called you at the wrong time, I want to know that. I don't want to just go through the exercise of hearing my own voice. Don't be nice to me and listen to me if it's the wrong time. I want the right time to communicate with you. So is this a bad time to call? I use that. I endorse that. I don't try Tom trickery, because if it's not, you may say, go ahead, Mike, talk, but you're not going to listen to me. It's going to be an exercise. So I disagree with this. I say, hey, it's a good time. Mike Marsh, this will take a couple of minutes. Let's chat. If it's a good time, I want to talk. If it's not, we'll arrange another time. His second point was ask questions. Yes, I totally agree with that. Do your homework before you pick up the phone and decide what questions you're going to ask the person. Because they're absolutely right. People like to talk. They like to answer questions. They like to hear their own voice. So ask intelligent questions, and you're going to have a pretty good phone conversation. Number 3, use the person's first name. I totally agree with that. However, not too often. If you use my name every sentence, it sounds scripted and it sounds goofy, and it's just not the way we talk. But if you salt in the word Mike now and then it grabs my attention, because it's just, you can't go wrong with that word, and nobody can go wrong listening to their own name. Number 4, avoid using people's last name. Now, I don't know if I agree with this or not, because I use people's last name as a sign of respect, and they'll say, don't call me Mr., call me Mike, and I say, okay, Mike, there you go. But I err on the Mr. side or Mrs. side and let them back me off. And I also call young people sir and miss and madam, just as a sign of respect, to show that I'm not too old for you. I mean, I respect you at 18, just like you should respect me at however old I am. Old. Any event. Number 5, use visually descriptive words. Yes, we're in a descriptive game. We're in the Amalfi Coast with big lemons growing on the side of the mountain as you weave your way down to Positano. Yeah, we're in a descriptive game, so salt the good words in. The sumptuous the ship meals. Holy cow, the size of that steak was enormous. Yeah, we can use descriptive language in describing what we do. I copied this. This came through my email this week. It reminded me of summer. Most people, a lot of people, some people, 1 or 2, they use summer as a crutch. Nobody wants to talk to me. It's summer vacation. It's warm. It's hot. It's Friday. It's Monday. It's summer. We excuse ourselves out of talking to people. And don't do it. Summertime is the same as fall, winter, or spring. Friday is the same as Monday or Wednesday. Don't excuse yourself out of making more people glad they know you. If they don't know you're alive, you've got to do something about that. Once they know you're alive, you've got to make them glad that they know you're alive. That's the way it works. So don't excuse yourself out this summer. And we're going right into it. Summer is today, I think, right? Today is the longest day, today. So it's summertime. So who cares? Let's get back to work. This is a slide I've used in programs before, and I wanted to share this with you. It's 10 companies that everybody on the line today recognizes. And it's 10 companies that we can all emulate. Apple. Everybody knows who they are. If you own a PC or a Mac, who cares? But Apple is a fun, upbeat place. It's a cool place. Go to the mall. You can't get in. Everybody's having fun in there, dinking around on these computers and these iPads and iPhones and all kinds of stuff. It's a fun store. FedEx. Use it or don't use it, I don't care. But when you send something FedEx, you think it's going to arrive the next day. They actually live what they promise. Nordstrom's, focus on the customer. If you haven't been to Nordstrom's, go in there. They know which side the butter's on. The customer drives that organization. They are good to the customer because the customer is the customer. If you ever bought something on Amazon, you'll hit the button and then another screen will pop up and say, based on what your history is, you might also like this book. They built a database and used that information to get to know us. It's a personal experience, not just anybody, but Mike. You, based on Mike's purchases, you would like this. Coca-Cola, upbeat, happy, teach the world to sing. I don't know, something like that. Da, 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 da. I won't sing that now. Ford, a sign of consistency. Now, they came a long way in the last couple of years, but they're known for consistency in their product now. Southwest, we all know Southwest as goofy people having fun. Call it quirkiness, but we enjoy that. Target, well lit, clean, easy to circumvent, good store. Nike, can-do attitude. Starbucks, we go in there, have a cup of coffee, listen to, watch our Wi-Fi, we plug in, we talk to people, we have meetings at Starbucks. They forge connections. So you can see that if you were going to copy somebody, don't copy one of these companies, copy all 10. Be cool and fun. Do what you say you're going to do. Focus on the customer. Make it personal. Study your database. Listen to people so you remember what it is about them that you like, their dogs, their kids. Make it personal. Be happy. Be upbeat. Be consistent. Let them know what you're getting into. Have a sense of humor. Bring your personality to the party. Make it a fun experience when they do business with you. Always have a can-do attitude. Be upbeat. And then have a connection. Forge connections with your customers. Not with everybody, but with your customers. I love this slide. These are 10 companies that we can all go to school on. Very key point. Your customer is your competitor's prospect. Your customer is your competitor's prospect. That is so huge. People will work harder at getting a new something than they will at keeping an old something. They will find more energy trying to get the new account than you will spend keeping the old account. That's the way it is. So understand that. And if that's true, which it is, don't make the mistake. Cement meaningful relationships now because your competition's out after them. Call up your top 5 clients. Call up your top 10 clients. Make sure that the relationship is solid before you go out and find new accounts. It's a big mistake. Don't leave your customers out there for your prospects to go get. Contact the people who are meaningful to you and your business regularly. Now, it used to be that I called it the rule of 7 contacts in every 18 months, but I'm changing that to the rule of 12. I think you ought to contact the people who are meaningful to you, and my definition of regularly would be maybe once a month. Now, an example with the postcard, they contact their database once a week. That's a lot. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I think once a month makes more sense in the long run. And a contact, it could be an email, it could be a voicemail, it could be a letter, it could be a postcard, all kinds of different ways to touch your clients or your prospects. But remember, when you're out of sight, you're out of mind. You write down 10 of your good customers right now, and I'll show you 10 people who are not thinking about you right now. When you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And it's not their job to think of you. You have to go back into their world. You're out of sight. So what are you planning to do about it? Visibility is your responsibility, not theirs. They're not thinking about you. You got to pop into their world regularly, call it 12 times a year. And the last slide I have during this sales meeting is the one on focus. Focus on the little things. Don't be grandiose. Remember the slide. Keep it simple. People appreciate you doing what you say you're going to do. They appreciate eye contact. They appreciate you calling them by their name. They appreciate you standing up, walking them to the door, walking them in. Introduce them to everybody in your organization. People recognize these. These are little things. Open doors for people. Say thank you instead of no problem. Little tiny things. Focus on these little things, folks, and it's gonna be more fun, and you're gonna be a lot better off for it. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Just stick with the fundamentals, stick with the basics. Grow your business one client at a time. Hold on to your good ones. Be personal, be fun, be a good person. That's all it is. I mean, I'm starting to sound like a priest. In any event, that's it. I hope this one takes better than the first one. I'm going to upload this to our website now for the folks who couldn't attend. Some people have asked for more sales meetings. Some are okay with twice a month. Let me know what you think. Mike@MikeMarshev.com. We can do anything you want. This is your club. I want to make this a club that you're happy to belong to because it works for you. Now, I can't work for you. You have to work for you. So talk to me. Let me know what's going on, and we'll do everything we can. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you next time.